if I started from where I really made the decision that I was never, ever going to try to put myself in a sense of struggle again, I was quite young. My mother was extremely entrepreneurial, but like serial, as in multi businesses throughout her life. She really loved the challenge of building something. But what always seemed to happen was she was really successful and she made all this money. And then either by no fault of her own or because of advice from others, she'd made decisions that put her in a position where essentially she would lose it all, right? And so I remember being on a rainy day in a very cold area, probably a little bit similar to Canada, I suppose, walking to school with a garbage bag on me because I couldn't afford to have a raincoat. And so I kind of looked around and thought in that moment, I don't ever want to be in this position. Like, we were not able to live in a house. We couldn't afford to rent anything. We were living underneath one of our businesses in a mechanic workshop, which just had, bare concrete floor and no walls, and it was really cold. And so that really started my journey of the mindset of, I never want this when I am an adult human. Right. So I'm going to make every decision that I can to put me in the best position. And what I can see is there's no forward planning here. Everything's really, last minute decision, and not through any fault of her own. She's extremely good at the things that she's done. It's just that I like to plan. I like to know what's going to happen. And sometimes that works. And sometimes there's things out of your control that, you can't do anything about. And that was really the case for us. So fast forward, been in business, nearly 2 decades, running a multi-million-dollar business with my husband in electrical contracting. So that's a construction-based company here in Australia, in multiple locations, big teams, big projects.
Right.
And within a space of probably, I want to say 3 to 6 months, 3 large clients that we had, which were all builders, folded in COVID, just shut down, right? So we were like overnight gone, just $800,000 just off the table, plus everything that we had anticipated we would be earning with the forecasting of our pipeline, right? So, we've got team to pay, we've got overheads, liabilities to cover. We sat down and crunched the numbers, and we had 5 days worth of funding. When we looked at everything we owed, we had 5 days. And I cried like the deepest sob cry that you could cry. And I looked at my husband and he's like, we're done. Like, this is it. After, 2 decades of doing this.
Right.
Not even any fault of our own, done everything right. Everything was paid up to date. Didn't owe any money to our taxation office. That would have paid out all of our bills. And yeah, and I was like, one day I had the breaking down, and the next day I was like, no, this is not happening. We are not doing this. I consult for people. We can't close this. There's no way, right? And it's only because of my background, I suppose. Prior to my business with my husband, I was in corporate finance, and I think it's only because of that and the strategic aspect of financial planning and corporate lending and knowing and understanding the products that we actually made our way out of that. Now, it did take a good 12 to 18 months for me to do that. And a lot of work with, agreeing with suppliers and utilizing different products to give us leeway and cash flow. But we got there.